Here behind me is a Lamborghini Aventador. And this is a short block out of an Aventador 6.5 liter. In the first video, we problem solved the issue to the long block and why it came to me, and we tore up the cylinder heads and really kind of went over the engine. And we're gonna make a build series out of this. So today is episode 2 of the Aventador SVJ rebuild. However, the topic is solely gonna be camshafts. So first and foremost, what is a camshaft? A camshaft allows the air to enter and exit the engine. Now camshaft, there's many designs since over 100 years ago when the first air pump was designed. It's overhead valve, push rod design, different types of overhead cams such as flat, tappet, radius, etc. I could go on. But this sole video is going to talk about how the camshaft design works in a Aventador. The lobe design, followers, the springs, everything. My objective is to break down every design of camshaft in all these engines that we mess with and show you the way they work and why they work. Let's start with the Aventador. I've always mentioned my history of camshafts. When I was 18, I worked at AutoZone. Webcam Shafts was down the road. The lady that worked there called and wanted to buy this OEM camshaft that was on the shelf. She flirted her way into my store manager to get him to send it. Now I overheard the conversation, and I remember I was putting up chemicals like detail sprays and all that, and I said, hey, let me take it. I want to take it. I got a 94 Honda Civic hatch with the single cam VTEC, and I walked in there and I started asking all these questions about a camshaft, and the owner, Steve Story, was kind of on the edge overhearing me. You like camshafts? I was like, I love engines. I think they're cool. So let me show you around. So he takes me in Webcam Shafts and he starts showing me the machinery, everything they do, and I was just like a kid in the candy store, and he looked at me and he goes, how do you like working where you work? So I get to go. He's like, do you want a job? I says, yeah. He's like, good, you start here tomorrow at 6 in the morning. And that was it. My life changed after that. That guy, Steve Story, is the CEO founding of a company named Webcam Shafts. Webcam Shafts was started in the late 50s, 60s, and started regrinding Volkswagen Type 1 and Type 4 camshafts. We'll drop a picture here. Now, they're air-cooled engines that were in VWs, and they made regrinds to just clean up the profile, the stock, then they led into performance stuff. And during those 30, 40, 50 years of history, they specialize in overhead camshaft. Now, what that means is the camshaft, essentially what it sounds like, it sits in the cylinder head, and that's what they specialize in. Everything from side-by-sides to Sea-Doos to Volkswagens to Ferrari to Lamborghinis to Hondas. They are a performance profile camshaft manufacturer. A lot of you probably never heard of them. They're a mom and pop spot that specializes in custom one-off stuff. Steve started it and grew it into what it is today. Steve, however, is retired now, but Steve is a big mentor in my life. He taught me all this, taught me the ins and the outs. Here we are. What I did was call Steve and I said, Steve, I got an idea. I want to tell my followers and my people how a camshaft works, and specifically the camshaft of this engine. And he's like, okay, let's do it. We're gonna call Steve, and Steve's gonna sit here and go over this with us and show you guys and explain to you the design of this lobe, why it uses a bucket, and how the bucket works in the cylinder head. Quick little bonus, I'm gonna kind of go over that whole chop thing. Everybody knows what camshaft chop is. A car rolls in, blah, 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 blah. And it sounds super cool. Now there's pros and cons to it. That comes from lots of duration and overlap. Overlap is when the intake and the exhaust valve are open for a period of time during the cycle and create that sound. The cars that don't have a chop don't have a lot of duration. Okay, so the overlap is really tight, meaning when the intake valve opens and closes, the exhaust barely starts opening as the intake closes, and you don't get chop with that. Now, with duration, more top end power, less duration, more mid-range, more low end. However, camshaft technology, this is an old engine design. This is a B series. The lobe separation is fixed. So when I degree the camshaft in, the intake cam's at 107, this is 112 lobe center line. As those lobe center lines get closer, there's less overlap, which then kills the chop. So nowadays technology, we have phasers. We control the camshafts with the cam gears, exactly what that sounds like. But I wanted to give you guys a quick little bonus as far as what creates the chop, the pros and the cons of the chop, and here are the animations. As I'd mentioned, there's lots of different camshaft designs. I don't want to sit here and go into every design. I want to specifically talk about this camshaft design, and in the future, I will jump into different kinds of cams. For example, this camshaft is out of a 5.2 liter Huracan. This has a roller rocker radius follower, exactly what it sounds like. This rocker has a roller on it, and it's got a radius. That radius has a math number that is determined by the installed spring height and where the valve sets on the stem, okay? So this loop here is not symmetrical. It's got a flat sides and a round. So all this kind of draws itself out once it follows the follower. For example, compared to the Aventador, it's symmetrical from one side to another because the follower is just one round guy versus this follower has a radius. There's no radius here. This just sits here and spins and opens the valve. I'm not going to get into details with this, but I'm quickly giving you an example of the differences. And there's multiple differences. There's many variances in different camshaft designs that have been designed throughout the 100 years of air pump engines, right? But today, solely going to talk about this guy. In the future, I will explain this guy. I was gonna call Steve from Webcam Shafts, but he's not feeling well. I'm gonna do my best to explain to you this camshaft design. This camshaft design is a bucket, it's called a flat tap. Flat tap is exactly what it sounds like. The follower itself, which is the bucket, it's flat. There's no geometry to it. There's no radiuses that you have to multiply, nothing. It is just, it is what it is. So if you put an indicator on this camshaft lobe and you spin it, whatever the lift comes to is what the lift is gonna be at the valve, okay? For example, on radius rocker stuff, if it's 322 lift on the camshaft and the rocker ratio is 155, then you would multiply that, would then equal the valve lift. But this is a flat tapping. The bucket is always gonna have clearance in between what's called the base circle and the bucket, okay? So that doesn't hang the valves open. And the clearance between the bucket and the base circle is all determined by the installed spring height. Now what that means is where the valve stem sits, so where this bucket sits in the cylinder head. So we wanna properly position this anywhere from 6 to 10 thousandths between the bottom of the base circle and the top of that bucket. All controlled by where the valve sits in the head. But we want anywhere from 5 to 10 thousandths when it's cold. So when it spins, as it starts opening the valve, it pushes the valve down, okay? And then comes back up, and then pushes the valve down, and then comes back up. So if you put an indicator here and you spin it, this is 433 thousandths of an inch lift. That's how much that camshaft opens, 433. As far as duration goes, duration at 50, meaning that if you put an indicator on the base circle and you spin it and you open it at 50 thousandths, this is 233 duration at 50. Now, lift essentially controls torque, duration controls horsepower, and where it controls the power band. 230s at 50 on a stock camshaft with 433 lift is a lot for factory camshafts. Performance camshafts, like big camshafts, is high 240s, 250s. Getting a camshaft that's in the mid 230s stock is big. But again, the Aventador was designed to rev to 8,000, 9,000 RPM out of a 12 cylinder. Camshaft duration is very, very important when you're revving high. So these late engines that are revving really, really high, most of the time have a lot of duration to be able to carry the power that high. It's that simple. Now, as far as controlling the cam timing, use this as a reference. We'll talk about the B series. A B series is a 1980s design. This engine has locked cam timing. Okay, so the sprockets essentially is what I use to control the center lines of where these camshafts are. So where the camshafts sit in relation to one another. On the SVJ, they have what's called the cam phaser, just like the 5.2 liters. So we're able to control where the cams sit, where they move. Now, the point to this is a later design, later engines, the older B12s didn't have this, is to be able to control the timing in the mid-range. So as it's revving up, the camshafts sit close, the center lines, and as it revs up, they spread away to create what's called a higher lobe separation and more overlap, which then allows us to rev higher. This is a modern technology, that's old technology. So with cam phasers, 10 out of 10 of these engines these days have adjustable phasers as controlled by the ECU. So we're able to maintain torque in the bottom end, and as we rev up, we spread the camshafts apart and then give us more top end. I did say in the first video that it was really, really old school design engine. They did improve some things such as the phaser. The old engines didn't have that. So that's how you're able to snap in the throttle. It's torquey and it's fun. So that is essentially the ins and outs to how a flat tapped camshaft design works in this engine. The 5.2 liters with the radius rockers and the rollers, a lot more in depth. There's a lot more math in them, which I'll make a video later in the future and get to. But my moral was to kind of break down this engine and show you guys in-depth details of each part of the engine. In the next episode, I'll talk about the pistons and the rods and the crankshaft design. But for now, just wanted to kind of go over this camshaft stuff and hope you guys enjoy it. So, that being said, stay tuned. Have a good day.